Hmm.
So in the last session, right, we talk about variable, right?
Hmm.
Variable and variable value, data types, right? Different type of data types we have, right? Integer
Hmm.
and all those things. Now, how we can define this one? We can define integer, or just let me just take this one. String name is equal to, right? Something like that, right? This is a simple syntax, right? About data
Hmm.
type and all those things. Right? String is equal to we have value. This way, this is what we have. Okay. This is very basic, right? Now
Hmm.
today we're gonna learn about few things more in Java, right? So we want to learn about array. So do you have any idea what is array?
Usually arrays are in the brackets, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, that's more than it. Right? Array is something that store multiple value. First basic things. Array that store multiple value. Now suppose
Hmm.
we have name variable name, right? But if I want to create a one class, right, which represent all the classroom student, right? So if I want to store, this is what we use to store the data, right? This is used
Hmm.
to store the value, right? Store the value of variable. Now suppose in my class I have 35 students, right? And I
Hmm.
want to store their name in a variable, right? So how we can do in a normal way? Like I can just do like this way. Name one is equal to Ankit, and string name two is equal to here, right?
Hmm.
String name three is equal to Mansi. So in my class, I have 35 students, right? And I want to
Right.
store the name like this way, right? But if you remember, right, the concept, the data type, right? This data type, integer, long, string, they like they have some storage value in a RAM, in our memory, right? So if we create
Hmm.
like this way, it will add up too many memories, right? It will add up too many memories, right? Let's suppose if it's just 8 bytes, right? This also have 8 bytes, right? Then this also
Hmm.
has 8 bytes, and also this not looks like the preferred way to creating a variables like this way and storing a data. So this is the limitations that variable will have, and that's the reason we have a concept of array. Okay, so
Okay.
in simple term, what you can just say is array is an object which contains element of similar data type. Okay,
Hmm.
array is the objects which contain elements
Similar data.
of similar data type, right?
Hmm.
This is the core definition of array, and this is really important topic that you should know when you work on automation. Array is the object which contain multiple data type. Now suppose I want to write the same thing in an array format. How I can do these things? So array can be defined. We have to define and declare, right? Those are the two things.
Hmm.
We have to define and declare. So array can be defined in a two way. You got my point. So let me just tell you. So I can just first say simply, sorry, I can just say simply string, then this bracket and name. Okay, this is my,
Okay.
this is how I can declare the array. Okay, sorry, define the
Hmm.
array. Or I can also do these things. See, this both work. Okay, never get confused.
Okay.
Sometimes people get confused on this one. Like do I need to put the bracket before or do I need to put the bracket after? But this bracket you can either put before the data type or you can either put after the variable name. Okay. So this is a simple
Okay.
definition how you can gonna declare the array, right? In
Define
our sorry,
define इस तरह से किया जाता है ना?
yeah, define. Hard define is the case. Now suppose now this is just you have defined, but you want to declaring the size of array, right? You want to declare the size of array as well. Like in my array I have a 10 names, right? So what I can do, so this is what we can do, right? String, I always use like this. Sorry, I used to prefer like this. Always data type, then bracket. Name is equal to new. Okay, this is the keyword.
Hmm.
Then again string and value 5. Okay, means
Hmm.
in this name array I can store 5 value. You got my point?
Okay.
In this name
Mm-hmm.
array I can store 5 value. This is my variable name. So now how this 5 value gets stored in name array? Okay, this is the name is
Hmm.
array name. Okay, this is data type
Okay.
and this is the size 5, right?
Hmm.
Now when we talk about size, right, always understand array index is always start with 0. Index
Okay.
always start with 0. Okay, this is really important to understand. Array index always start with 0. Okay, now
Hmm.
suppose you want to store this value 5 value, right, from 0 to 5, then what is your value? So name, then this is how you can write name 0 is equal to Ankit, name 1 is equal to Snehal, name 3 sorry 2 equal to Mansi, name 4 equal to, I'll just say is Deepesh, name 4 is equal to says Alok. Okay, so this is
So we
how,
can
yeah, tell
hmm.
me.
Actually then we can add six values or four values means a
No, no,
zero
no.
to four it's five.
Yeah, that is the
In
concept.
this way five.
That is the concept you need to understand. See, when over here, right? When over here we just says 5, that means the last value of the array will be 4. Okay.
Okay.
So the
Hmm.
initial value will be always 0. Okay. First
Mm-hmm.
value will be always 0. So initial value will be always 0 to start. Ending index will be always n minus 1. So over here what
Okay.
we have,
Mm-hmm.
5 minus 1 is equal to 4.
Four.
5 minus 1 is equal to 4. And this 5, that will become length of array 5. Okay, these three concepts you need to understand and you understand the array very well. This is
Hmm.
initial index, last index, then length. So length is
Hmm.
5. See, length is 5. Value or store is also 5, right? But the how they gonna store, that is the difference. You got my point? So
Hmm.
first value will be 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you see, this will become 5. This is like we count our finger, right? From 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, then 6 out of 5. Then we found, okay, we have 11 finger, right? So this is similar to that
Mm-hmm.
one. It start with 0, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this is the
Okay.
basic concept. So you understand, right? This is how the
Hmm.
normal variables will define, and this is how we define the array. Okay, and
Okay.
see what is array. Array is the object which contain the different element of similar data type. Understand the
Hmm.
definition, similar data type, right? So over here all the things are name, string as a name, right? So this is how it's gonna be implemented. Now let's we see how we can write the array in our code. Okay, so same thing we will
Mm-hmm.
learn now practically. So I will open and I will open Sneha's Java practical. Then now today we will create a new project. Okay, sorry, new package. What is package, Snehal?
Uh, it is a type of a class.
Package is just kind of folder.
Okay, yes.
So now we will add a package and we will add a class. Okay. I will just say
Hmm.
simple array, okay, or single dimension array. We have two dimension. I will show you how the two dimensional work. Okay. And I will add public static void main. Why we need to add public static void main, Snehal? Why we need to add public static void main? Because that is the execution point of the Java program. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Now let me just save this one. Now we will just exactly go like this way. Okay, this is how we're gonna define our array. So we will again take a 7 example. Okay, so I will just say string. Okay, and this is how I normally prefer. After string, always use this bracket. Name is equal to new string 5 value first. Okay, you see now it's not giving me any error, right?
Error.
Now
Hmm.
I want to store a value. So what I can do? Name 0 is equal to, let me take a 3. Okay, only 3. Do not take a 5, just take a 3. We need to
Hmm.
understand the concept. Name 1, name 2. Now the total length of array is 3. So what will be the last index? 2. 3
Two.
minus 1 is equal to 2.
Hmm.
Right? So I have this 3 value I have stored over here. Now what will happen? Let's see. If I add extra value, right? Just say Sachin, right? So this is extra value I added in an array, right? You see, but it did not give me any error, right? Because it should
Yeah.
give me any error. But as of now, we are just declaring. Now, if I use in any operation, right? Let me print this one, okay? So I want to
Hmm.
print this all value, right? Okay, so I will just print this all value. 0, 1, 2, 3, right? Even though
Hmm.
now, suppose I want to find a length of array, right? So length of array will be always in an integer, right? Because length will give how much like the values we have stored in an array. So what I will do, integer length of array. I created one variable, and what will be the value? Name, the array name dot length, right?
Hmm.
So this will store the length of array, right? Now integer, I will just say is last index. Okay, so it will be length of array minus 1 always. Okay, this will be the last index. Okay, so I can also print these two values so we can see. So length or size of array is, I can just say this one. Length or size both are same, right?
Hmm.
And then last index. So what will be the last index? Last index,
Length
last
or
index of array. This is last index. This one. Okay. So see,
hmm.
length of array we already know, right? Because 3 we have defined. So it will be the 3. You got my point. So length
Yes.
of the array will be always 3. Right?
Yes.
Now
Hmm.
last index, that means if it is 3, then 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. Right?
Two.
And
Hmm.
we're gonna print this value. Okay. Now
Hmm.
I want to separate this part. Why? Because we know, right? If the value, the size of array is 3, then it will take 0, 1, 2, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
It will not take 3. But what will happen if we print like this way? So I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna run and run my program. Okay, so you see it is giving me some error. Now let's
Hmm.
understand the error. It says index 3, it's out of bound of length 3. You got my point. It is
Yes.
not allowing, and that's the reason it is not printing the value. So
Hmm.
because index 3 out of bound, why? Because the last index of the length 3 will be only 2, right?
Yes.
The last index of the length of array 3 will be 2, and that's the
Hmm.
reason it is not taking third value. So if I delete third value over here, if I delete third value over here, and now I'm gonna print this one. You see, it just says length of size of array is 3, last index of array is 2, so you cannot take more than two values, right? And the
Hmm.
Ankit, Snehal, and Mansi. So these three
Hmm.
values will be there. Okay, so you got the concept, right? What you got this
Hmm.
concept, right? Last, so if somebody says over here size of array 5, that means it will store the five values, right? But it will start from 0.
0 to 4.
0 to 4, exactly. This is called, this is really good to understand when you work on array. Okay,
Hmm.
now this is single dimensional array. See, this is single dimensional array, right? Now let me just show you. This is how it works: single dimensional and two dimensional. Okay, so this is our Excel, right?
Hmm.
So this is single dimensional array that we have seen name, right? And over here, it is just saying us 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So this is
Hmm.
single dimensional array will always store like this way, right? In a row, right? This is called row, in a row. So this is first row, this is second row, this is third row, and this is fourth row. Now this is called single dimensional array. Okay, single
Hmm.
dimensional array, right? This will be work like this. Now let's take another concept to print these things, right? Now to print these values, okay, just hold on. Now you see this print this value, I have to write three line of code. Let's suppose I have 35 values, right? I have to write down 35 times this statement. So that is not a good practice. You got my point? If I have
Hmm.
35 value, I cannot write this line 35 times. So for that reason, we have looping concept, right? You can loop
Okay.
the line of code as many time as you want to fulfill your requirement. So there are many kind of loop we have: for loop, then we have, I will just say, the uh, do while loop. So all kind of loop we have, which will work on a conditional statement, okay, which will work on certain condition. So for this one, what we can do, let me just show you the initial level of for loop, okay, how the for loop is going to be work. So let's we start. So this is the syntax of for loop. Use the keyword for, and from where define one variable I is equal to 0, I less than length of array, and I plus plus. Okay, I will
Hmm.
show you everything how it's gonna be work. I'm gonna print I, and I will just say, okay, I'm just gonna write this down. So okay, now the second things I want to write, I want to print this name, right? I want to print this name, and instead of 102, I just put a I. Okay, so this is how it's gonna
Hmm.
be work. Make sense, right? Now
Hmm.
see, this is called a for loop, right? Now for loop will have a three things, right? Always understand the any loop, not for loop. Any loop will have a three things. first one is a starting point. Okay, so now let
Hmm.
me take this one over here. Okay, so this is our loop, right? Now we have three things in any loop, right? Do loop, do while loop, or for loop. We have three things. So first we will have a starting point. So starting point with the start value, starting point, right? Initial value from where we need to start, right?
Hmm.
Then we will always have a condition, means condition, like some kind of condition, right? So this will condition will tell us when you want to execute your program, right? And the third one will be increment or decrement operator, right? So incremental, decremental operator, right? You want to decrease the value or you want to increase the value. Now let me tell you in simple word how this gonna be work, right? If you want to print a 10 value, right? Either you want to go with like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Or if you want to print a 5 value, either you can go like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You got my point?
Okay.
So
Hmm.
either way you can print, right? From where you want to start,
Hmm.
that is depend how you set up your for loop. You got my point?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Hmm.
want to start with 0. I want to start with 0. I want to print my first value. I want to print my first value. Then I want to print my second value, third value, fourth value, like this. But this is how the basically loop work. Okay. Now let's we go to the program. Now we will see the same thing, right? Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna right click and I will just add this one after each line. Okay, after each of our line. Okay. Now see what will happen. I'm gonna comment this one and how you can do the multi-line comment slash then star and then over here I'm gonna finish my comment. Okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. Now I'm gonna print my these three values in one single line. Okay. So right click, run as Java application, and you see it says 0 time. First time the value was Ankit, second time value was Nehal, and the third time value was Mansi. You got my point?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is how the looping concept works. Okay. Looping
Okay.
will always have initial value, right? Then what they need to print and all those things. Now suppose I want to print in a reverse order. I want to print Mansi first, then Snehal, then Ankit. What should I do over here?
Writing in a reverse way.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
Two,
want,
one, zero.
yeah. So what I can do over here?
Reverse order.
Yeah, but what I can do, right? I want to start, see, I want to start with 5 now, right? So what I can do over here, I is equal to length of array.
Okay. Huh.
You got my point? So I will be
Hmm.
3, right? I will be length of array, right? I will be length of array and I want to start with that one. Then
Okay.
I should greater than
Zero.
0 exactly. And I plus plus, it should say I minus minus.
Minus. Huh.
Right? Now what will
Yeah.
happen? Let me run this one and see how it's gonna be work. Okay. I think this
Okay.
should give us some error and I want you to tell me what could be the reason. Okay, now again it is saying, you see, above line it is printing, but it says error, index out of bound. Can you tell me what is the error over here? You can take 5 minutes, but I want the answer from you. Why this key was an error? Okay, and let's see. So see why it is failing, right? The length of array would be 3, right? So do you
Hmm.
think we have number 3 over here?
No.
Right? We don't have number 3. So always when you use from the maximum, just use -1. Why? Because we need last index, right? And last index is always length -1. You got my point?
Yes.
Because
Mm-hmm.
see, first value of I, what will become? 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. So name is equal to 2, system will find and it will print.
Right.
अभी क्या हो रहा है, वो 3 ले रहा है, राइट? तो 3 तो है ही
Mm-hmm.
नहीं. Even though the length is 3, but the last index will be 2, right?
Right.
Yeah, तो इसीलिए वो एरर दे रहा है. Now let me run it again and we will see. Now you see over here what happened. It just print first, उसने ये print कर दिया, right? Then reverse order में उसने print किया मानसी and स्नेहल. उसने अंकित
Mm.
print नहीं किया. क्यों? Can you give me the reason क्यों उसने अंकित print नहीं किया?
Because greater than zero is also missing.
Greater than 0 is how it is missing. Now think what will happen, right? First value will be 2, then 2 डिक्रीज होके क्या हो जाएगा, उसका 1 हो जाएगा. तो दूसरी वैल्यू
Hmm.
प्रिंट करेगा, फिर क्या हो जाएगा,
Zero.
राइट? ये कंडीशन मैच नहीं हो रही है. यू गॉट माय पॉइंट. तो यहाँ पे
Hmm.
मान लो कि आई की वैल्यू अगर 2 है तो 2 इज ग्रेटर देन 0, करेक्ट, वो जाएगा लूप में. फिर 1 हो जाएगी, वो जाएगा लूप में. फिर 0 हो जाएगी, तो दिस इज करेक्ट कंडीशन. 0 इज ग्रेटर देन 0? नो, right? 0 cannot be greater than 0, right? 0 can be greater than and equal to,
Okay.
right? 0 is greater than and equal to. That is the reason it does not print the name of Ankit. Now, if we run this one, this will print all the values. So, Mansi, if you understand these two concept, right, this is more than enough to work with the loop, right? Because see, zero value नहीं आ रहा था, one से वो रुक
Hmm.
गया था. Because one is greater than zero, zero cannot be greater than zero, right? उसके लिए हमने क्या किया, जीरो ग्रेटर देन एंड इक्वल टू जीरो. तो ये दो चीजें ना, ये दो चीज अगर आप लूप में याद रखोगे ना, फॉर लूप में, तो दिस इज मोर देन. ओके, यहाँ
Okay.
पे हम रख देते हैं इसको. बी इन अवर वन अम्ब्रेला. But when you want to go from zero, when you want to go from zero, this is correct, right? But when you want to go from top to bottom, this is correct. Always understand these two things.
Mhm.
Okay, people make mistakes over here and they then think about like what was wrong. Okay, these two things, greater than equal to. Okay, now this is
Okay.
all about the array. Now, based on array, let's we stick to the array. Now, based on array, what is happening, right? What is happening? Now, suppose let's we also think about the conditional statement. Okay. Now we will think about conditional statement. So if this is equal to true, then print that part. If this is equal to true, then print those part. Okay. So
Hmm.
let's we put one more class. How we can add a class? New and class, right? And conditional statement. Okay. If else, like in our normal language, we just says, right, अगर ये होगा तो मैं ये करूँगी, right? So
Hmm.
this is what we need to do. Now suppose I have two number, or I have one number. Okay, like I have my percentage result, okay, is equal to 80%. I got 80% in my result. So now I want to create a dynamic grade for my student. Okay. So what I can just say is, if result is greater than or equal to, then print uh, A plus, right? Then print A plus greater than or equal to B. You got my point?
Mm-hmm.
As print B plus plus. ओके, तो अगर रिजल्ट 80 से ऊपर है तो ए प्लस प्लस प्रिंट होगा, अगर
A
नहीं है तो
plus.
ये प्रिंट होगा, राइट? तो नाउ इन
Mm.
दिस कंडीशन व्हाट विल बी द स्टेटमेंट इज गोना बी प्रिंट दिस और दिस रिजल्ट.
Um, B plus plus.
हाउ बी प्लस प्लस?
Um,
80 is greater than and equal to 18, right? Is equal to 18. 80 is in equal to 18 na? So this statement
mm,
gonna print.
okay.
This is basic mathematics, right?
हाँ हाँ एक्चुअली मैंने -1 इसमें भी ले लिया था, सॉरी.
नहीं 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 नहीं, ये सिंपल इफ एल्स कंडीशन है, वो फॉर लूप का कंसेप्ट चला गया, अभी ये इफ एल्स कंडीशन है. जो ऐसा होगा तो ये होना चाहिए, जो ऐसा नहीं होगा तो ये होना चाहिए. तो अगर रिजल्ट 18 से 18 है या 18 से ज्यादा है तो ये प्रिंट करो, otherwise this will get print. Okay, if I run this
ओके.
one, right, if I run this one, you see
A
a
plus.
plus प्रिंट हुआ. अभी मान लो कि भाई इसका वैल्यू था 75, राइट? तो क्या प्रिंट होगा?
B plus.
Yeah, because 75 is not greater than and equal to 18,
80.
राइट? तो क्या प्रिंट होगा? b प्लस. तो ये हमारा हो गया if else कंडीशन. You got my
कौन
point?
सी
This is
कंडीशन?
if else. If else.
अच्छा, if
Yeah,
as.
yeah. Okay. So this is how the if else condition works. If this is true, then perform these things. If this is true, then perform these things. Okay. Now, any other example like you want to give, then we can also go with the string as well, right? So now just says string, right? And I will just say gender. Okay.
Hmm.
And gender will be male, right? Then if then we will have gender is equal to or is equal to a, then system dot int, like I will just say okay, ticket price should be 250. If it is female or kid, right? If it is female, or let's we take a if else condition, as if gender is equal to female, then ticket price will be 200. Okay.
Okay.
And the last as, अगर फीमेल नहीं है मेल नहीं है, अगर किड्स है तो ticket price will be 100. Okay. So now over here, what information we have? This is our value, right? So if I run
Hmm.
this one, first it will check result. Okay, result
Hmm.
75 ये कंडीशन में ये if में नहीं जाएगा, इसमें जाके ये प्रिंट कर देगा. Then for string, it will go to male, then it will print this one, right? Because it is equal to male. Now let me
Hmm.
run this one, okay, and we will see what is happening. Okay, so ticket price is
Okay.
250. Why? Because it is male. Now suppose if I just write ABC, then what will happen?
It will show an error.
Okay, why?
Because ABC is not in its else if conditions.
नहीं, पर यहाँ से सीखो ना कि जेंडर इज इक्वल टू एबीसी, राइट? तो यहाँ पे पहले क्या दिया है, अगर जेंडर मेल है तो ये प्रिंट करो, अगर जेंडर
हम्म,
एल्स इफ जेंडर फीमेल है तो ये प्रिंट करो, अगर ये दोनों में से कोई नहीं है, एल्स मीन्स समथिंग एल्स, कुछ भी है, तो ये
ओके
प्रिंट
ओके
करो।
तो फिर 100
समझे?
हाँ।
राइट,
ओके।
सो इट विल प्रिंट
हम्म
100। ओके, तो यहाँ पे दो चीज है, और यही यही बेसिक चीज आप ध्यान रखोगे, दिस इज मोर देन इनफ, राइट? फॉर लूप में आपको
हम्म
ये दो चीजें याद रखनी है। सी, यू वांट टू बिकम अ ऑटोमेशन टेस्टर, वी डू नॉट वांट टू बिकम अ developer,
तो
right? So always remember these things. So this is the basic of for loop, right? This is how, and this is the basic of array, right? This is the basic of if else condition, and this is what we need to cover today. Okay, I think we are
हम्म
pretty much fast enough to cover these things. Now let me just show you few things about like how the string and character array work, because that things I want you to understand. Okay, so like array, we have this string array, right? But now suppose I want to divide this string, Ankit, into different character, right? How we can do, right? So this, for that one, I, because I want separate class string character, okay? String character concept, इसमें क्या होता है? Now suppose I have one string, okay? String कैसे करते हैं? str, I have one string, automation, that, okay? This is my string. Now I want to print, right? I want to print this string, each and every character one by one. A, U, T. So these are the character, right? You understand? This is
हम्म
string, this is character, and this is called word, right? One word. So this
हम्म
string contain two words, one and two words. The first word contains different character, A, U, T, O, M, and all those things, right?
हम्म
Now, suppose I want to print this string into a different character, right? You got my point.
हम्म
So how you gonna do these things? Can you tell me the like basic concept? How you gonna print this string to array?
हाँ,
There are something that you can do it, but I want to see if you know those part, then we can try.
no
No,
हम्म
okay. So now let me tell you. See, first of all, if you want to print A, U, and all those things, right? We have to divide. We have to divide them in a character. Right? That is the first things we do. We have to divide them in a character. Right? So how
हम्म
we can divide in a character? So there is a one thing we can just see. I will just say is the count, right? Where character at. So now let me just tell you. So first of all, this is our string, right? Important for it for interview point of view, right? So as we just say, this is one string, right? String
हम्म
automation learning. Now let me take this automation learning over. Okay, in our what? So this is automation learning word, right? Now this is the one complete string. Okay, this
हम्म
is one complete string, and now what it contains, right? So see, this is how you should see the string. When you see the string, this is how you should see this string. We have two words, one and two, right? Two words, right? Now
right
this thing we have two words, and how many character it has? A, U,
10
T, O, M, A, T, I, O, N, L, E, R, A, and all those are character, right? So
हम्म
let me just write out two words and how much character? Characters, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11. Space is also a character,
18
okay?
okay 19
19 character, right? So
हम्म
whenever you work on programming, right, this is how you should see the string. The string is the combination of two words and this character. Now, what is the requirement? We need to print these characters, right? A, U, T, and all those things. We need to print one by one, right? This is the one requirement. Let's understand. So, how you can approach, right? Always think, right? Think point of view should be, see, you want to become a good automation tester, good in programming, you have to think logically, right? So, first, I have to divide these things, right? First, I have to divide these things in a such a way so I can print. So now let's we go over here and we can take a approach how we gonna print this one. Okay. So first of all, what we can do, right? If I want to print this all these characters, right? Then the first approach I will just say is we can convert this string to character array, right? Now how you can create a character array? Char ch is equal to, this is my character array, right? This is my
Okay.
character array, right? And what I want to store in my character array, this string str, you see this is string str, and I want dot to character array, right? To character array. So this is the function to character array. This is the function which will store these values over here. We can also write like this way, right? Ch. So now what will happen? How many character we will have in ch? So see again, like a array, in a string we also have one function to find the length. So I will just says I want to print, okay, length or size of string is equal to str dot size, oh sorry, str dot length. So if you use str.length method, right, then it will
Hmm.
give you the length of the string in a character. Understand, over here the length will have this bracket. This means this is the method. But over here we don't have the bracket, right? So this is also one method, but this is mainly used as a keyword. Okay, this is the difference
Okay.
when you use in array name dot length, but the same thing when you use in a string length, right? So this is the length. Now this is the length, right? So if I print this one, if I run this one now, right, you see 19. So 19 character it is printing, right? So
Hmm.
now you know, right? How many array over here we have? 19. So what will be the initial index of array? Initial index of array?
Oh, 0.
0. Exactly. Then
Hmm.
length of array, this character array. What is the length of this character?
Minus 1. 19 minus 1.
No, I am saying length. Length will be full, right? 19. Then last index will be
Okay. Huh.
19 minus 1 is equal to
Hmm.
18.
Length of array minus 1. Hmm.
Yeah, right, length of array minus 1. Now I want to print this. See, this is what we can use for loop, right? I want to print like in a this way, okay, in a first order. So what would be our loop? For integer I is equal to 0, I less than is equal to I will just say size, right? Size of array, right? So I will just say
Hmm.
ch dot length, right? And I plus plus, right? And what I can simply do so, right? And I, right? Because I need to pass every time, right? So it will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 till it will get 18. It will stop because 18 and over here the length is 19, right? 19,
Hmm.
19, it will stop. Okay. Now if I run
Okay.
this one, see the magic. If I run this one, you see all the
Hmm.
character got printed over here. Automation space also is the one character, learning,
Hmm.
right? Now suppose the requirement says remove the space. We do not want space to be printed. Then what you will do?
Uh, while writing this string, I will not write with a space. Automation learning without space.
See. So without space, so we can use if else condition.
Yes,
If
18.
ch I is equal to space, right? Then ignore as it is. Try to understand how this is working. So what I did, right? See, when okay, just some step over here. Equal to, yeah, is equal to it is not a string, right? So see what I am doing in simple term, right? अगर स्पेस है, अगर कैरेक्टर में कहीं पे भी स्पेस है तो कुछ प्रिंट नहीं करना है, राइट, नथिंग प्रिंट। अगर स्पेस नहीं है तो ही ये प्रिंट करना है। यू गॉट माय पॉइंट। तो क्या होगा,
Okay.
ए यू टी जब ये प्रिंट हो जाएगा, फिर जब स्पेस
Mhm.
आएगी तो कुछ नहीं करेगा, फिर वापस से वो चालू कर देगा। तो अभी क्या होगा, ये स्पेस चली जाएगी। देखो मैं इसको राइट क्लिक करके रन एज करता हूँ। अभी देखो स्पेस चली गई। क्यों?
Hmm.
क्योंकि हमने बोला कि जब स्पेस दिखे, ऐसा नहीं डायनामिकली है, कहीं पे भी तुझे स्पेस दिखे उसको हटा दो, राइट। So this is how
Okay.
you can also use if else condition over here. Now
Mhm.
suppose the requirement is that I want to print in a reverse order from G N I N or something like that way. So what we can do in a reverse order, क्या करेंगे हम रिवर्स ऑर्डर के लिए, हम लोग लास्ट इंडेक्स से स्टार्ट करेंगे, 18 से स्टार्ट
Mm.
करेंगे। तो 18 से स्टार्ट करने के लिए क्या चाहिए, सी एच लेंथ -1। सो इस आई इज इक्वल टू सी एच लेंथ -1, आई ग्रेटर देन एंड इक्वल टू क्या होगा, 0,
Zero.
आई माइनस माइनस, राइट, आई माइनस
Mm.
माइनस। तो ये व्हाट इट विल डू द रिवर्स, राइट। नाउ इफ आई राइट क्लिक, so it will do the reverse. यू सी, जी से चालू कर दिया लर्निंग, जी एन आई एन एंड ए यहाँ से हो गया, तो यहाँ से नीचे से ऊपर रीड करोगे तो ऑटोमेशन लर्निंग हो गया। तो दिस इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट, अंडरस्टैंड स्नेहल। दिस इज द स्ट्रिंग वी हैव, the string we divided into character array. This is how str, this is the method we use. This method will divide character array. Once it is divided in character array, right, we got to know what will be the first index, what will be the last index, and all those things. You got my point.
Yes.
Then we simply use our same concept for, right, if you want to go from top to bottom, 0 to n number, start I plus plus, then big number to small number, start with length of that one -1, means last index, then greater than equal to 0 and I minus minus. Okay,
Right.
perfect. So this is all about that we need to cover today. In the next session, we will learn about collections, right? Java collections, the basic of Java collections. Okay,
Hmm.
perfect. Yeah. So I will share this video with you in a while. Then I will send you the assignment as well to complete. Okay.